Hello everybody and welcome to Green Star Trading with me, Tom. All views, opinions and ideas expressed in this video are my own and do not constitute financial or trading advice in any way. Right, for the next few minutes we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. Now, I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet. I've got two counts to show you, both are bullish long term. One is slightly more bearish in the short term, predicting a lower low, and one is saying we've already bottomed. So we're going to sum these up nice and quickly and start with our Elliott wave analysis, and then move into our basic technical analysis to wrap up the video. So, both are saying we topped in a primary free in an ending diagonal fifth wave. We've then come down in an ABC. The C extending, the C being an extension, and a 1618 C equals A extension, bringing us down to roughly 30,000. This is the first count. Now, we're all the same in the second count up until the bottom here. We'll come and look at that afterwards. So let's look at this count first and look at some evidence to suggest that we may have already bottomed. Not necessarily what I favour, but let's do it anyway as a technical exercise. So we got the 161.8% extension of C equals A. That's a perfectly acceptable extension. That's nice. Okay, we also got our pitchfork. Bear with me, it's been a while since I've brought it up. And we came straight back to the median line of our pitchfork. Now if you just want me to zoom out so you can get your head around where we are in time and space, here's the weekly time frame. Primary wave 1, primary wave 2, swing high, swing low of our pitchfork taken from the December 18 low. We come up into our primary wave 3. Primary wave 4 has come back to the 1.618 extension of C equals A within this intermediate correction of the primary 4, which also meets the median line of the pitchfork projected from the 1 and the 2. Essentially a perfectly reasonable place to stop, you know, if you're coming down. So we come down and we come to the median line, like I said. Let's just alter the chart, tidy this up a bit. Bring that into the log. Okay, so that's one piece of evidence. We've got our fib level. We've got essentially coming back to the median line of the pitchfork. So let's turn that off so we can get a nice clean chart again. Next thing, I've got saved, is it on this one? Yes, I just added it. Using a fixed range volume profile here. So instead of our visible range, which we often have on the right hand side, which I will still use later, I'm focusing on the expectation of the primary wave 4 completing within the correction of a wave 4 of a lesser degree, which is intermediate back here. And we can see that if we take all the price action from the height of the intermediate free, so all the 4 we saw here, all the way up to the top of our primary free, we can find that our point of control, which is a yellow dashed line here, which shows the extreme of the buy sell volume, is right underneath all these candles as well. So that's currently where we're bottoming out. Now we've wicked lower. We've wicked lower to the 1618, we've wicked to and through slightly that median line. But price action, in terms of the closing price of each candle, on the daily here at least, does not want to close below this point of control currently. We haven't put a single body of the candle below it. So there is strong support here. There's no doubt there's strong support here. It doesn't have to last. It doesn't have to be the bottom and send us to the moon from here. As you all know, I'm not one of those fundamental news nonsense spouting moon boys. I'm interested only in what the chart's telling me, and the chart's telling me this is a perfectly acceptable place to a bottom. There's currently a lot of support here. We have got multiple reasons to believe it will continue to do so. However, now let's come into the shorter time frame and see the slightly problematic issue of getting off of this low in an impulsive manner, which it has been very tricky to do. So the only way I can get us off of this low in a 5-wave move is as a diagonal, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minor waves into an intermediate 1. We then get an ABC with a massive extension in the C in 5 waves. There are better ways to, maybe there are better ways to count this, but like I said, we're working on trying to get an impulsive move off of the low. So we go 1, 2, intermediate time frame. We get a really nice move here in what I'm proposing as a minor 1. We get a little extension in the minute 3 here with a 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inside of that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sub-minuet, I should say. Inside of the minuet, inside of the minute 3, ABC correction, zigzag here into the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into minute wave 5, into minor 1, ABC. Haven't really dug through this yet. There'll be 5 waves in here though, you can bet on it. And now we're going 1, 2. Right, so pretty ugly, I would argue. Not the nicest way to get off of a low. Not at all. A lovely clean impulse wave of 5 waves would be the way to do it, ideally, wouldn't it? But we can count it bullishly. So I think we've done enough now on this first interpretation of the chart to move over and have a look at a different one. So we're going to save this here. Now here's the next interpretation. Still bullish long term. Let's just going to come off log for a minute. So this still has the ending diagonal in the 3, primary 3. We still have intermediate 4 in the same place. We still have an ABC we're working on, except the C is not complete. The extension is going to be extreme and go beyond the 1618. Okay, which is not impossible. It can happen, but it is rare. It's not as rare in crypto as it is in other markets. This is purely a result of the space we're in. You know, we have these sudden liquidation events, panics, there's a lot of retail money, there's a lot of whales out there, and all these other reasons and excuses people have for why things happen. We tend to see extensions in fifth waves quite often, what I've called the FOMO wave before, and have jokingly called the Tesla wave as well as the crypto wave. And we also see extensions in Cs as well, because once the sell-off really gets going, it can cause panic. So it just causes a liquidation event which is intensified. Now, I'm not, as you know, if you follow the channel, one to go on about fundamentals, but I've been in the crypto markets long enough to smell bullshit, and there's an awful lot of it going around at the moment. FUD, as they call it, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Now, for those of us who've been in the crypto market, there are many people listening who've been in it far longer than me. I only got in late 14, early 2015. Good time, admittedly, but not as good as it could have been. And I've heard everything since. You know, every government's going to ban Bitcoin. China's declared war on Bitcoin. The government's going to confiscate your Bitcoin. Martians have invaded and are going to gobble up all of your Bitcoin. I've heard it all. And it's all bullshit all the time. No reason to believe anything different this time. It's a shakeout. Of course it's a shakeout. They want... Okay, let's not go down conspiracy street here. It's just a shakeout. Let's leave it there. Alright, so in this move, we have a much nicer, in my opinion, 5-wave move within the C of the primary 4. Now, this is because I can get a nicer relationship with a nice long 3, okay, and a nice time-wasting 4 in a triangle relative to the very quick and sudden wave 2. Very long. So this is good alternation between corrective wave 2, corrective wave 4, big 4, small 2, and yet still within the same wave degree. If we measure the 1, project for the 3, we get a nice extension in the 3. This supports the idea of the overall extended C. In other words, the panic, the liquidation, the run down to new lows. So if we come down to the 1 hour here, and we have a look at this triangle, just to try and get our heads around it. I haven't labelled all the internal structures of ABCs, but I'd argue they're there. Okay, so instead of a diagonal and a bullish count, we go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, ABC, ABC, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C should be the E, and then this should break down to lower lows. Okay, so we're almost done. Potentially. By the time you're watching this, which will be the 1st of June, it may well have already completed and we may well have already broken down, and this video will already be out of date, but at least these targets, you'll know whether this was bullshit or not, won't you? So we should impulse our way out of here once we complete an E. And then the targets I've got, the 38.2% retracement of primary wave 3 in log scale, which is 22061 spot 69, and also the previous all-time high at 20,045. Now, I said months and months ago, you can go and find a video, caused a bit of controversy at the time, when I was saying how, oh, we've broken through the all-time high, we're going to run now, but we will come back here one day to test it. And it was like, oh, no way, man, that's not going to happen, that's miles away. Then we went on to 40, 50, 60 grand, 64 grand. And it was like, see, Tom, you're ridiculous, the idea of testing the all-time high. And I'm like, just be patient. You know, just be patient, it will come. Now, it might not. I still hold my hands up and say you might be right, but we've already come down 30 grand from 64, so we've done most of the work. It's just normal, fellas and girls. It's just normal to test the previous all-time high, and you should be thankful if we do, because if you get the opportunity to pick up Bitcoin at a third of the price it was, okay, less than a third of the price it was a couple of months ago, what an opportunity. I'm going to be a buyer down here. This is not financial or trading advice, read the disclaimer, but I'm going to be buying down here. I've got orders down here already. Alright then guys, that sums up the Elliott wave count. They're both viable. As I said, there's a lot of support still under us. We are determined not to close a candle below this point of control. We've come down to a major fib level. We've got median line support. But for me personally, even though all that support's in place, I just really like the look of this triangle. It just looks good, and it just looks right. So for the moment, I'm more leaning towards this and one more low in Bitcoin to come. Maybe another 10k drop, or maybe more. Maybe another 16k drop from here is possible. All right then, guys, let's wrap things up with some basic technical analysis. I'm going to come out to the weekly time frame here. We're going to get rid of our favorites bar. We are going to zoom in on the more recent price action on the weekly time frame. So all this stuff here. Then we are going to bring up our indicators. So we've got a RSI set to a 10 close with a red 70 level representing overbought and the green 30 level representing oversold. We have a MACD with a 10 for the short term moving average in orange, in blue, excuse me, and a 20 moving average in orange and a 10 in blue. I hope I said that right. Okay, and then we're going to bring up our exponential moving averages, a 10 in yellow, 20 in blue, 60 in orange, 250 in green. And we'll bring up our visible volume profile here, visible range as well. And we need to just clear our count out of the way, don't we? There we go. So what can we see here? Well, the support we were talking about, which is the point of control projected from the intermediate 3 to the top of the primary 3 and all the price data up until current day, was just below the bodies of these candles here. We know that coincides with the 161, it doesn't coincide precisely, but the 1.618 extension of the C from the A is right here at the 60 exponential moving average as well, the orange line. Not quite to the tick, it has wicked through it slightly, but it's there. We also know that the median line of the swing high, swing low of primary wave 1-2 projected forward finds the median line roughly here as well of the 60 exponential moving average. So there's a lot of support here, and it's still holding for now. Now the RSI has gone to extremely overbought levels, at 96 or higher, 97 perhaps. I make it back here in January, and then we saw the massive divergence between highs, lower highs in RSI, highs, higher highs, higher highs in price. We saw an ending diagonal forming. We also had the option of an expanding flat at the moment. Either way, we were predicting a top and a significant correction. That significant correction has come. Probably caught some of us off guard with the size of it, but we knew it was coming. Now the MACD, we've got 10 over the 20 is crossed here. It's decelerating somewhat, bright red bars in the histogram, no sign of a bottom as of yet, but signs of the bearish momentum cooling off somewhat. Have not completed a round trip in the RSI from overbought to oversold. Do we need to do that? At primary wave degree, it would be normal to do that. We did it back here at primary wave degree when we came down into March of the COVID low. So, at primary 1, primary 2, don't have to see it, primary 3, primary 4, but it is quite deep. So perhaps one more thrust down could cause it, but we are going to be looking for bullish divergence on the shorter time frames like the daily time frame if we do set another low as a sign of a bottom. So let's come down to the daily and discuss that. We're below all the major moving averages, 10, 20, 60 and 250 on the daily time frame, snagging around the 250, struggling to get above it. A lot of downward pressure here at the moment, to be honest, looking at this. The easiest route is to carry on down rather than up. There's a lot of resistance above us at the moment. There is support below us as we've seen, but there's a lot of resistance above us as well. We've come down to very oversold conditions though, and we have completed that round trip on the day time frame from overbought to oversold. We could thrust lower, but if we do thrust lower and complete what I'm suspecting is a triangle, we will want to see a lower low in price, but ideally we would like to see a higher low in RSI, so somewhere above this low of the 19th of May. If we come down, thrust down in the 5th, and we do get a bullish divergence between the low and the higher low with a lower low in price with a penultimate move of a triangle, which we know can only occur in a fourth wave of a motor wave, an X wave or a B wave, that would be for me an amazing buying opportunity, and all you'd want to see really is candle confirmation, maybe a nice bullish engulfing candle, long wick to the downside, perhaps a hammer, coinciding with that bullish divergence, coinciding with a build-up of a bullish momentum on the MACD, crossover short over the long term, nice green bars appearing, and completion of the Elliott wave count that we're looking at. That would be a brilliant bottom to buy. And even if we've miscounted and we're just coming up in a corrective move to this down thrust move, we could be looking at a huge move back up anyway. So if we break down one more time, it's not financial advice, legal advice, or what? Not legal. It's never going to be that. It's not financial or trading advice. Read the disclaimer. But I've got orders down there waiting for this, and I'm willing to take the risk. Okay, but what you do is up to you. Alright then guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me on this technical analysis of Bitcoin. If you're new to the channel and you like what you've seen, please subscribe, smash the like, hit the little bell notification icon to remain informed of future video releases. Leave us a comment in the comment section below if you want to. And thank you as always to my Patrons. Your support is greatly appreciated. It is currently, as I film this, the last day of May. By the time you watch this, it will be the 1st of June. And if you want to sign up to the Patreon, now's the day to do it, because you're going to get a full month of value ahead of you. You're only going to get charged for June. That's why I always tell people not to sign up at the end of the month and to wait for the start of the month. But so if you are interested, follow the link in the description. Go have a read of the tiers. If you want to sign up, first of the month's the best time to do it. I will be loading up my new dividend calendar and stock picks as well for the month of June. That will be loaded up to the Patreon probably tonight, ready for tomorrow. And if you're not following me on Twitter yet, there's a link in the description box below. Go over and do it. Alright guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll be back with you later in the week. All the best. Bye bye.